Welcome to Aira 1, or Aira 1 in Polish. Welcome to our official factory inauguration. My name's Pamela Brown. I'm Aira's Chief Marketing Officer, and it's a real honour and privilege to be here with you hosting today's landmark event in Aira's history. Before we get started though, being a very safety-conscious business, I wanted to give you a short health and safety briefing. There are no planned fire alarms today. So if the alarm does go off, stay calm. Everybody on this side of the stage, please exit through that door there with that lovely gentleman standing with his high vis. And everybody on this side of the stage, please exit through that open wide door, B25. If anybody feels unwell at any point in time, we have paramedics on site, so please just raise your hand. So, to today's agenda. We will first hear from our chairman, Harald and our CEO, Martin Lewerth, followed by our distinguished external guests that are here with us today. Then we will hear from Jesper and Tomek, our factory management team, who have been really busy here, and they will share more about the work that's been underway to make today and production start. Then Peter, our Chief Product Supply Officer, will share some reflections and closing remarks, and that will be followed by a short ribbon-cutting ceremony. So, with that out of the way, I can start now by giving you more of an introduction to today. Exactly 1 year ago today, I was here standing with my colleagues, Aira colleagues, with Volvo team and Volvo colleagues, just on the other side of this wall, which is now our first assembly line. And at that time, we announced that Aira was taking on this factory. And it was a phenomenal moment, really, to think that now we're here. The factory 1 year prior to that was simply a bullet point on a PowerPoint slide. And so within 1 year, it's really, truly impressive to see what the team has achieved. They've been transitioning the site from producing Volvo buses to producing Aira Heat Pumps. They're not very similar. They're quite different, as you can imagine. So to imagine that we have assembled a team and been producing these heat pumps is really testament to our ambition as Aira, which is to decarbonize residential heating. And we want to do that in 5 million homes across Europe. And we want to do that in the next decade. So we have this phenomenal goal. And this factory, where we're all seated and standing today, is exactly where we will do that. So, I really want to take this moment to thank you all for being here with us in person. We have our Aira board, Aira colleagues. We also have officials from national, regional, and local government. And we also have institutions that are supporting growing business in Poland. So thank you for being here in person. We are also live streaming today's event via LinkedIn. So I'd like to thank all of our Aira colleagues that are joining us from across our markets in Germany, Italy, and the UK, Aira partners and Aira friends, who can all share with us this very special moment, this landmark moment when we open our factory. So, with that, I would like to invite Harald, our Aira chairman, Martin Lewerth, Aira Group CEO, to come and join me on stage, and I think we're going to take a seat. Okay, so with that, we'll get started with our fireside chat. We don't need a fire here today because it's very warm outside.
Oh.
So, okay. Here we go, guys. It's exactly 1 year, actually, since all three of us were on stage in Stockholm, just revealing that we were launching Aira, and we had this ambition. And as I said earlier, we've been transitioning this site from producing buses, Volvo buses, to Aira Heat Pumps. I'd love to know what goes through your mind as you're sitting here on stage just 1 year later.
Yeah.
Maybe Martin, you'd like to go first.
First is a lot of pride. I think there is so much, everyone here should be proud about that we have achieved such a short time frame. I think this is really a big milestone for us. It's a strategic investment for us, and this is really the home of Aira going forward. And I think it's amazing to see. It's actually on the day today, 1 year, we met the team here in Wroclaw, and it's really the team that has done everything by themselves, together with trusted partners. Some of you are here today as well, I see. And I think it's truly amazing what has been achieved in such a short time frame.
Fantastic, thank you. Harald.
I very much share the same feeling, and I think that it's an incredible achievement by the team, to be able to be here today, and I think it's really a testament to, the team really, Peter and his team, but I think also the entire, former Volvo employees coming together to really put together something which is amazing, and you can really feel it when you're walking around. The pride among, all of the team members and, the professionalism, the whole ambiance is just amazing. And it's actually, if I go back to, when the whole idea in a way was hatched, it's roughly 2 years ago. And I guess that, Volvo was coming to, a difficult decision that, needing to make changes here. And I was actually having a cup of coffee with Martin Lundstedt, the former, or no, the current, not the former. At least I think so. Martin Lundstedt, the CEO of Volvo. And I was telling him, because I just experienced, starting up a gigafactory for battery manufacturing in Sweden, and recognizing that it's such a difficult process, and it takes an enormous amount of time. Go through permitting processes, site selection, engineering, financing, construction, ramping up. So I actually asked Martin, don't you have something that we could benefit from? Because I could also see that, the energy transition also means that, we're electrifying transportation is causing disruption, in the traditional industry. And so we were talking about that, how that could happen. And then I guess, number of weeks, months later, he came back and said, maybe there is really a win-win proposition that we could do together. And I guess that's where we're sitting today. And I think it's an incredible example, how, I'm not saying that they're old, but to some extent, parts of, what has worked in the past, is being replaced by new industries. And I think that, the whole industry of electrifying residential heating in Europe, which is, you probably know it, but most people in Europe don't know it, but it's, one of the single biggest emitters of CO2 emissions in Europe, more than the steel industry, in line with the passenger car industry, and having a chance to be part of that, and to hopefully see, how our business model can contribute to really speeding up, transition. And this is going to be a super important cornerstone of that development. So I guess I'm super proud.
No, it's lovely to hear the inside track, the story of how this all came about. And it was a coffee conversation. Look, Vargas is renowned for its large-scale decarbonisation manufacturing, whether that's Northvolt, H2 Green Steel. And could you share with us just some insights on how large-scale manufacturing investments impact the local economy and the people that live in that region?
Yeah, but I think it's. If you take, I guess, a couple of examples. But if you look at, for instance, if you take Northvolt, which I guess is one of the leading players in really driving giga development of manufacturing in the battery industry. I mean, today we have basically gone from if you go back maybe 4 or 5 years, company didn't have any employees. It had like 3 founders. And today we have 7,000 employees. And that's basically, relatively small head office in Stockholm. Västerås, about an hour away from Stockholm, today has 1,000 R&D engineers, and basically 80% coming from around the world, congregating. So when you go to Västerås today, I mean, there's like little India, little Korea, little Japan, and it's just amazing to see how that has happened. If you look at the northern part of Sweden, which historically has been having a problem of people leaving, all of the young people essentially moving away. But today, in Skellefteå in northern Sweden, today we have several thousand employees. And putting it all together, it's kind of interesting. Today in Northvolt with 7,000 employees, then the only companies that actually have more employees in Sweden is actually Volvo Group, I think 17,000, Volvo Cars, 17,000, Scania Trucks, 13,000. But beyond that, there's actually very few companies that have 7,000 employees in Sweden. And we're talking about highly trained people. So I think that hopefully when we're sitting here, hopefully not in 10 years, but maybe in 5 years, we will be in the position of having to decide to how do we expand. We can build 120,000 probably in the current space, but how do we take the next step? And I think that's going to be a super exciting journey. So that's what we aim to do.
Fantastic. So Martin, we know that we acquired the site from Volvo, and can you tell us a little bit more about the evaluation criteria and how you made the decision to set up Aira's first factory here, Wroclaw?
Yeah, we looked at more than 100 different locations across Europe, and I mean we have an urgency to do what we do, and working with Harald, it makes it even more urgent normally. And we were looking at green fields. You get a land plot, and you have to develop that. You start with a brown field, basically buying an existing facility. But then we got this fantastic opportunity that Harald mentioned. Here we have a fantastic facility in the right location for us, but most importantly, the right team. The Volvo production system, I think we are very like-minded, the way Volvo has been working and the way we are setting up our operation. And coming from the automotive industry myself, I know how difficult and what impact world-class manufacturing has. And there is no industry on the planet which is more competitive and where you have such level of skills. It's really the skilled people here at Wroclaw, and I'm so happy meeting you 1 year ago. Many have taken the trust in us and moving over to Aira. So that will make the whole difference, and that really made our decision very, very simple.
Fantastic. Thank you, Martin. Harold, so we're running quite late, so I'm going to try and keep these answers to 1 minute answers.
Short.
Got 4 questions, 4 minutes. So looking at the Vargas portfolio, we talked about B2B manufacturing. Aira is actually Vargas's first direct-to-consumer brand. So obviously, as a marketeer, I'd love to know, how is that enhancing the Vargas playbook?
No, but I think it's adding a new challenge. But I think it's also, when we looked at this industry and looked at the challenge, we could see also that, it wasn't necessarily, a manufacturing problem, but the problem was really that, the end customer doesn't know what the product is. And it was basically sold as a B2B product to 100,000 installation firms across. So actually we said that if we want to do this, it's not enough just to manufacture, but we actually need to figure out a way to reach the end customer. And then I guess it's obviously something we haven't done before, but I think it's the same thing here. It's really about bringing together, the best people. Mm-hmm. And then I think if you fundamentally have, a good value proposition, and we think that this integrated approach makes a ton of sense. But then I guess it's only about getting, the right team, and then to really execute. And we really believe in this, vertically integrated model, a la Tesla.
Thank you. So Martin, we just heard from Harald about, the direct-to-consumer business. Can you share with us how is it going? How's sales and installs?
Yeah, it's going really well. I think a lot of what we are doing today, we're doing it in a different way, and many said it cannot be done. And I think we've been proving point after point that things can be done in a different and better way. we like also to do things before we talk about it. So everyone here knows that we are already manufacturing our own products. And I can just say that the uptake and the liking of our products manufactured here, it's through the roof. It exceeds all our expectations for customers. The customer ratings on our products are 5-star reviews, and I think we should be super happy with that. And I think customers have been waiting for someone who provides a one-stop shop or hassle-free solution making this transition. And this is just the beginning of our journey. So I think we can all be super excited about the future.
Great, thank you. So Harald, last question for you. So Aira secured 195 million in funding, and only 2 weeks ago we announced 200 million in debt financing as well. Also, TechCrunch reported that so far this year, the first quarter of this year, it was over 8 billion in climate tech funding. So I'm just intrigued to know, do you see that level of investment continuing in climate tech?
I think it's the same thing. I think it's just started. If we look at the scale of investment that is necessary, if we really want to drive, reindustrialization of many sectors, we barely started. So I think that the model in a way also that we are building, which is really about helping our customers to basically provide supply. They're all demanding low CO2 or green products. The problem is that today there's very limited supply. And I guess in a way, I think what we are trying to do is to demonstrate it's possible to actually be able to do that in a very capital efficient manner. And we have our friends at Temasek and Kinnevik and Altor in the audience. But I think having brave investors that are willing to lead that development, is that going to lead to other people following? Because what we need is hundreds of billions of euros to make the transition. But it's also about creating partnerships between the Volvos of the world's, buying green steel, from new players and new entrants. So I'm extremely hopeful about the development of climate tech.
That's great to hear. And last question for you, Martin. So on the subject of investments, we've announced that Aira are investing 300 million in this site. What does this investment cover? And will that be enough, sufficient to achieve our production targets?
Yeah, so this is the first phase. We are going to continue to develop our manufacturing system here. There will be more investment in lines and other manufacturing and production equipment. And we're going to build training facilities here for our employees. But I think this will really take us far on the journey. But as Harald said, the whole transition, green transition, it will require significant investments. We are no exception from that. So we are going to continue to expand here. This is the backbone of our production system in Aira. And today we are around 200 employees here in Wroclaw. And we will also make sure that we will see more and more employees in the local community joining us over time. I think we're in a very good position to take the very first important step for us here now.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Harald. Thank you, Martin, for joining me on stage. Please.
Thank you, Pamela.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So now I'd like to formally welcome our distinguished external guests that are coming to speak to us. This is Anna Ugla, Charge d'Affaires at the Swedish Embassy here in Poland. Thank you, Anna, for joining us.
Thank you, Pamela. And thank you for the introduction and the opportunity to represent Sweden and the Swedish Embassy in Warsaw on this special day. This would be no news to the group sitting here, but Poland's growth trajectory has been nothing short of impressive, with a GDP growth of 150% in the past 30 years. And since Poland joined the EU 20 years ago, the trade between Poland and Sweden has increased 400%. I can also talk a little bit about relations between Sweden and Poland. They are very strong and they're flourishing, as it should be, between neighbors and close EU partners. We share a strong commitment to continue to support Ukraine for as long as it takes, and Sweden's membership in NATO has deepened our close cooperation with Poland in the field of security and defense. Earlier this week, Foreign Minister Tobias Billström visited Warsaw, and in February this year, the Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson met with his counterpart Donald Tusk and the President Andrzej Duda in Warsaw. On the business side, Sweden is well represented in Poland. Over 700 Swedish companies are represented here, and showing a commitment to Poland and a belief in the country's future and prosperity. We are very happy to be able to welcome Aira to the family. And I am so glad to be here today to mark this occasion with the inauguration of Aira's factory here in Wroclaw. It's particularly heartening to see that the Swedish presence in Wroclaw remains strong through Aira's investment in this factory, creating job opportunities and contributing to European production of technology that will contribute to the decarbonization of households, an existential challenge facing all countries. Combination of innovative tech that combats emissions, something that has become somewhat of hallmark for Swedish entrepreneurs, combined with the highly skilled, sought-after and professional Polish workforce, I believe, will be a recipe for success. And I think partnerships such as these will bring significant benefit to both our countries and to households across Europe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. And now I'd like to invite Piotra Wojteczka, President of the Board, Invest Park Special Economic Zone. Thank you.
Szanowni panowie prezesi.
Ladies and gentlemen, all of you, dear guests, the world and global economy are at the verge of great transformation. This is a sign of new era, innovation and sustainable development. And Aira will help us to go through that door, which is a new open plant located in Wrocław, Lower Silesia. Aira demonstrates its visionary role and is at the head of revolution in the green energy sector. Decision to support this project realized by our Swedish partners is not only confirmation of the mission to support entrepreneurship, but also we see the future together in which technology and development go hand in hand. And I believe that our Wałbrzych Special Economic Zone believes in such future. This inauguration is not only a great occasion to celebrate newly opened plants that will hire new people in Wrocław, and in the construction of this plant, we invest over 1 billion Polish zlotys were investment. Aira is the head of implementing the changes, building new paths for technology ecology. Ladies and gentlemen, each such bold project involves a lot of people and their contribution, and that wouldn't be possible without them. We wouldn't celebrate it today without them. On behalf of Wałbrzych Special Economic Zone, I would like to thank several people in particular whose skills make us be together here. I would like to thank Presidents Harald Mix, Martin Lewerth, and Peter Prim. Thank you for that. I would like to thank Mr. Tomasz Wcisło, director of Aira One. I would like to thank you for your trust and fruitful cooperation. Thanks to you, we are here, standing here together, celebrating our success. I'm convinced that the plant we're opening today will become for Aira a source of great successes. And I wish us all this investment to become a foundation of another initiatives, bringing us not only benefit here in Poland, but also in Europe. Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. And now I'd like to welcome to the stage Katarzyna Szymczak-Promanowska, Sustainable Development Director, City of Wroclaw.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, all distinguished guests. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to welcome you in the city of Wrocław, green and blue Wrocław. Wrocław has always been in the avant-garde. That's why we are the member of the initiative of European Commission, which is the mission for 100 climate neutral and smart cities. That's why we took the challenge to prepare our roadmap, our strategy of the climate transition. And we want to reduce our greenhouse gas emission by 80% in perspective of 2030. This is a huge challenge, and we won't do it by ourselves. We need a transition team. We need all the stakeholders on the board, because the public sector is responsible only for 7% of all the greenhouse gas emissions in Wrocław. The rest come from energy, heating sector, from transportation, buildings, waste and water management, and from our residents. That's why such industry, such business as yours is crucial for us, because heat pumps supplied by renewable energy is our future. It is the future for our residents. That's why I keep fingers crossed for you. Thank you that you wanted to establish your business here in Wrocław, and I hope you will join to our transition team. Here I have the letter of support for our challenges, for our ambitions, and I hope you will join us, we will be able to sign such a letter of commitment. Of course, it don't have to be today. Today is your celebration, but I think we can do together more. I'm very happy that we are here on the board here in Wrocław, and that we can cooperate. I always encourage you to cooperate with us, with Sustainable Development Department, for the local society, for the residents that live here. We can do together many green initiatives. So again, I keep fingers crossed for us, and I'm very happy we are together in Wrocław. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can I give you that? Thank you, Anna, Piotr, Katarzyna. That was great to hear from you. And you can really see, as a business, Aira really operates on a European, national, regional, local level. And at Aira, by making heating cleaner and greener, we help countries to achieve their net zero goals, as well as creating jobs for the future, green skilled jobs. So we're delighted to have representatives from Poland, the heart of our manufacturing, but also from Sweden, where we were founded and headquartered, here sharing their reflections. So I'd just like to, round of applause, thank you very much. Okay.
Moment ogłoszenia zamknięcia fabryki Volvo był dla mnie sporym szokiem, zwłaszcza, że wiązałem z tą firmą swoją przyszłość i swoje nadzieje na realizację swoich planów.
I się okazało rok temu, że fabryka jednak kończy działalność w Wrocławiu.
Na Mydlanej 2 jestem od 15 lat, ponad. Co do informacji samej, no był to szok na pewno. Natomiast to, co się wydarzyło później, no to już jest całkiem inna historia, która świadczy o czymś nowym.
Od wielu lat pracuję w bezpieczeństwie i wiem, jak ważne są wartości firmy, jeśli chcemy budować kulturę bezpieczeństwa na najwyższym poziomie. Pamiętam moją rozmowę rekrutacyjną i po takich 30 minutach wiedziałam, że tak, że to jest miejsce dla mnie.
Najważniejsze dla mnie to jest to atmosfera i ludzie, z którymi się pracuje. Dobra praca, która wynika z dobrej atmosfery. A jak się dobrze pracuje i w dobrej atmosferze, to ten produkt wychodzi też dobrej jakości.
It's a good opportunity to start up everything from the beginning right. So that's why I joined Aira.
There are many reasons why I have decided to join Aira. One of the most important is clear company mission. For many years, I have delivered different sustainable public transport solutions to many European cities. Now, I'm happy to continue my work and address another important source of emissions, which is home heating.
Looking at it from my Swedish background, I feel it's a quite similar culture. And I also think one big advantage that we have is the Volvo culture, and that is built on also a lot of the Swedish value.
Mówiąc o fabryce, każdy ma głównie na myśli dział produkcji. Logistykę możemy śmiało przyrównać do powietrza, które w organizmie jest potrzebne, żeby ten organizm funkcjonował. Bez powietrza nie ma życia.
Another important aspect is the opportunity to build completely new factory together with team of great people. Focus around one goal: to produce environmental friendly, state-of-the-art products in the world-class facility here in Wrocław, Poland.
One thing that I am so proud of is to see the commitment from everyone in Aira who is being part of building up the factory where we are today.
Aktualnie mam wspaniały zespół, który znakomicie się rozwija, budujemy świetne produkty i zarazem budujemy fabrykę jutra. A ja odnalazłem swoje ikigai, czyli według japońskiej tradycji, coś, co sprawia ci przyjemność, w czym jesteś dobry, zarazem ktoś jest w stanie ci za to zapłacić i jest dokładnie to jeszcze potrzebne światu.
Przychodzę do organizacji, która jest dla mnie ważna i ja zawsze to powtarzałam, pracując w poprzedniej firmie, że jak wyjeżdżam z zakrętu i widzę budynek, to mi się Micha cieszy i to dokładnie tak właśnie jest.
Everyone at Aira has a story to tell. What bonds us together is sense of pride of what we have built. And we call it Aira 1.
What a history, right? The history of Aira 1 is actually built out of the hundred of individual stories. My name is Tomasz Wcisło and I'm Aira 1 director. I'm so happy that I have you all here today and also happy that you can see some of those histories in this short movie. Earlier today, you have heard about the Aira vision and mission. And this factory is actually practical and tangible implementation of this vision. Some says that time in Aira flow differently than in other companies, and 1 month is equal to 1 year in other company. But if you remember that we start only 12 months ago, it's quite impressive what we achieved here. It was only in April 23 when Vargas Holding announced that they will start a new project here in Wrocław. Shortly after that, we start the recruitment to the new factory. I must say that it was quite interesting to run the recruitment process to the company with the secret name, producing secret products. But we managed that. In October, we have built the first prototype of our indoor unit. And from that moment, things start to roll really quickly. We adapt the assembly hall, we build the production line, we run tests and pilots, and finally, 3 months ago, we start to produce and deliver first units to our customers. What I'm very proud of as a factory director is that we managed to do all these things in completely safe environment, avoiding any accidents. So far, we have created more than 200 jobs in Wrocław, and this number grows every month. Together with our partners, we spent more than 200,000 hours to prepare this factory. And so far, we invest 60 million euro in this site. All this to be able to already today produce all 3 variants of our indoor unit. But the long-term ambition is that we actually design all of our products in our R&D center in Sweden and produce them in Aira Heat, here in Wrocław. Parallel to the development of the product portfolio, we are also looking forward. That's why, together with the factory team, we have created the Aira Heat vision. And you can see this behind me on the screen. We are creating a world-class factory to deliver clean energy tech to millions of homes. And you see that I split this vision to 2 parts. First part is referring to our ownership and also to the ambition of for this facility. Second part is direct link to Aira vision. On the way to reach this vision, we have identified 5 culture elements which will guide us on our everyday job. First, we said that the safety of our employees and our customers is always our first priority. We will never compromise on the quality of our products. We take full ownership, and when we are taking any actions or making decisions, we always behave as this is our own company. We try to be a little bit better day after day, and with that, we are reaching the continuous improvement. And last but not least, we build trust among us and also with our stakeholders based on our competence and results. I would like to also speak a little bit about the supply chain. You may not know, but the indoor unit we are producing is built out of 150 different parts. Today, we buy more than 100 of them from the external suppliers. But what I found really interesting is that 90% of those we buy it from European companies. So it's not only about the growth of this factory, it's also to give the growth opportunity to other European countries. So far, 3 months after we have delivered the first unit to our customers, we already delivered thousands of defect-free products. And again, what I'm very proud of, in completely safe environment. And just to be clear, it's not that we have closed eyes for the dangerous conditions. It's because our eyes are wide open, and then we can identify the risk and avoid the accidents. But this is not the end, it's just the beginning. And our long-term ambitions remain the same. To invest 300 million euro in Wrocław, to create 2,000 jobs, and with that, to be able to reach the capacity of 500,000 heat pump sets yearly. And you may wonder how we will achieve it. And I can tell you we are prepared to answer it today. And with that, I would like to invite to the stage my colleague, my friend, or as Sam says, my twin brother, Director of World Class Operation, Jesper Bringström.
Thank you, Tomek. So, wow, 500,000 heat pumps. It's the plan for this factory. That's a big number. If you look at it from another angle, it's actually 42,000 per month. It's 2,000 heat pumps per day. It's 240 heat pumps per hour that we plan to produce. It's 4 heat pumps per minute. It's an amazing number if you think 1 minute is nothing. 4 heat pumps. So these 4 heat pumps, you can also compare it with that we're actually taking off 8 cars from the European road on the few minutes I've been on stage now, from a CO2 emission point of view. I mean, that's an amazing thing to be part of, yeah? That's coming out from this factory in the future. So you might be thinking, what do we need to achieve this? So we actually need one thing, and one thing only. And that's a world-class heat pump factory here. And that's what we have started to build. We are building it now, and will continue building it on the 3 foundations in the future. One is the site. So the site we are at, it is in Central Europe. Excellent road and railways to our key markets. We have a team. I think everyone before me from Aira have at least spoke about the unbelievable team we have. The other thing that maybe have not been mentioned that much before is the Aira production system. So these 3 foundations we have started to build and will continue to build on to make this a world-class factory. I want to take a couple of minutes and talk you through a little bit more on each of the foundations. First one is the site. Already mentioned that it's a great central location where we are at in Europe. But some of you have had a chance to walk through the buildings this morning, and it's great buildings, and it's fit for use for Aira production. It already exists. Our partnership with Volvo, we've been able to take over some of the equipment from the day one of our start of production. This is how we then see also with all of this, but with the whole land, we actually have 220,000 square meter that we can develop further for expand to the 500,000 heat pump factory. Moving to the next foundation, and the most important is the team. So all people, or I would say 98% of the people that works in Aira production comes from an automotive background. It's, you know, we of course have some that is non-Volvo employees, but it's very few. Myself, of leading the engineering team, I can tell you I am so proud of all of you. It's an incredible engineering team. They have built up this factory as it is today with world-leading automotive engineering companies from Germany that really have helped us to set the right mindset of using automotive automation. Yes, we don't have it today, but we have built the cornerstones that our engineering team is continuing working with. So already now, when Tomek is running the factory, The engineering team is looking at how do we grow and what's the future plan of growing the factory. And then, of course, all the operators, all the people in manufacturing and in the assembly line. When you look at all our people who actually do the work, it's almost average 20 years experience our manufacturing and assembly operator has. Last foundation is the Aira production system. And this is, I think, for me, very close to my heart. What we have done here is taken what Volvo started 20 years ago in this factory. It was called Volvo Production System. But, of course, it had its roots from Toyota Production System. So when you take the Volvo production system that they started here 2 decades ago, you know, combining all of this, right, with the right people, with the right methods and the tools, we will deliver safety, quality, and cost performance. We've talked about the 3 fundamentals. I think there is only one thing that we also need to add on to the 3 fundamentals. We need to have a smart factory. So what we are focusing a lot on is to develop a sustainable product for manufacturing and assembly that enable us to be flexible, expand on demand, be agile and quick when we expand, never stop our production lines when we expand, and so on. Another thing that we also have started to look into is how to use new technology, AI technology, for both process control and quality control. So to wrap this up, I've shared with you the site, the team, the Aira production system, smart factory. The other thing that we have that I think differentiates us is that with the history of Volvo production system and with new team members, is that we truly have in our DNA the continuous improvement mindset. Meaning that the journey never stops. We seek, we improve. What we improve, we will maintain. But then it just starts all over again. Seek, improve, maintain. So I want to say thank you for taking the time listening to me. And with that, I want to hand over to Peter Prem, Aira's Chief Product Supply Officer.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesper. Thank you, Tomek. The twin brothers. Can you believe it? But they do. They do really work like twin brothers. Good morning. My name is Peter Prem. I am the Chief Product Supply Officer at Aira. And right now, I'm feeling very proud and a little bit emotional, I must say. It is an amazing just to stand and watch here. Of course, I knew what you were going to see. But even for me, to see this here today was, touched the spot. So I remember actually the first time I was here. I was here to see land and buildings. I was sent here to look at the site. What I did end up seeing more than the land and the buildings are people. And I think you don't need me to repeat everything that everyone from Martin and Harald and Jesper and Tomek have said, the importance of that. So we saw this great opportunity for us here. We saw, really, really disciplined people and people that are very committed to, as you've just seen, safety, quality, and efficiency. You've probably also agree with me that it's rather unbelievable what we have achieved in this year, in this short year. And here you see some pictures from this. 1 year, rather an unbelievable achievement. In fact, it's less than 1 year. It's 9 months because production started a few months ago. So it's less than 1 year. So we've done this in 9 months, which is quite amazing. But it's not really unbelievable. It's amazing we say, it's unbelievable we say, but I also want to say it's not that unbelievable. Because one of our founders, Carl Eric, he said to me once that when you have the right team, anything is possible. And that's the case, I think. When you have the right team, nothing is impossible. And so what we've achieved here is thanks to this team. And so I want to say to all the Airos that are here in the room, all the Aira colleagues that are here in the room, and all those that are watching over there, I want to give you a big, big thank you. I think a round of applause, please, for all of them. It's you who makes it. Nothing is impossible. And then I should also say to all our partners that worked with us, the engineering partners, the Volvo team, and I could go on and on listing them up. Technology partners, you know who you are. All the partners that we have worked with, we couldn't have done this without you either. So please, a big round of applause to our partners. So with that, again, we're soon coming to the end of this amazing moment where we mark this milestone in our factory. But there's one more thing to do. Like any good inauguration, we have to cut a ribbon. And so I'd like to invite our guests, Anna and Katerina's had to leave, I think. So Piotr, Anna and Piotr, please join Harald, Martin and myself over there for a ribbon cutting, please. The rest of the audience, please remain seated. You will be able to see it on the screen. So, Pamela, yeah. Oops. So, please, this way. Please take a scissor. Yes. Help yourself. And then on the other side, Harald. We're going to cut from the other side. Yes. So around on the other side. Great. Please. Please. So now we're just going to take a photo. So near the ribbon. Okay, like this. Okay, Pamela, we are ready when you are.
Okay, we'll do a quick countdown.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Harald. Thank you, Martin. Sorry. Thank you, Martin. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anna, thank you so much. Please now, I take you back to your seats.
Great.
So please this way.
Thank you, Peter. Apologies, we were hoping to stream that on the big screen there, so we couldn't see it, but we heard it and we experienced it with you, Peter, and everyone.
Sorry for that.
So I hope you can see just the sheer passion and dedication that every single person here at Aira has to achieving our decarbonisation goal, really to help Europeans ditch their dirty gas boiler and switch to a cleaner, greener solution, air source heat pumps with Aira. And it's interesting, when I was sat down, I was managing to have a look at some of the comments on the LinkedIn Live. And this one I'm just going to read out because I think it's brilliant. Someone posted, "Changing the world one heat pump at a time." Thought that was fantastic.
That is.
So Peter, that was an amazing speech, thank you. And thank you for hosting the ribbon cutting ceremony. Thank you to our external guests as well, Piotr, Tatuzana, and to Anna. Thank you very much for being part of this moment. That really concludes the inauguration today. Thank you for everyone on the live stream who has watched, and we will close there. Okay.